Black sheep, listen up. The two thick rings with the thin ring in between were heavy on my sleeves. Space Marshal Wolfenstein had promoted me only an hour ago, and it hadn't really sunk in until this moment. I'd wanted this. I'd worked for it. Now it was time to prove I was worth it. The problem was, my mind was still stuck on my call sign, and just how seriously anyone took it. They'd given me the second word as a joke. Then, Rear Admiral Jane had added to it with the first word after I hit the top of the kill board on our first mission. And even though I hated it, no one would change it. Concentrate. 11 pilots were sitting in front of me in the squadron briefing room, and I was standing at the podium. From the smirks on a few faces, I could see they couldn't see past my call sign either. Although, to be honest, the smirks could have just been because I was only standard 18 and was a girl, and they were guys less than 2 years older than I was. For those who don't know me, I started. The squadron had been reformed after a long period of flying in a special wing, and I knew none of them. It was possible a few of them knew of me. The League had lots of pilots now, not enough to fill an Intrepid-class carrier yet, but it wouldn't be long. My name is Squadron Leader Liza Pound. My call sign is Killer Bunny, and if any of you ever use it, I will shoot you myself. Are we clear? There were a few hastily stifled chuckles, probably because of how my face looked. The rest just looked confused. "What do we call you in space, ma'am?" asked one of my two flight lieutenants, Jason Mendelson. "Skipper will work. Black Sheep Lead will also work. Lead if you're in a hurry. Ma'am is something I don't like either, but it will work when out of the cockpit if said with the right tone in the right moment. But no one uses my call sign for any purpose at any time. If anyone does, you'll feel my boot. And if you don't think my boot is worthy of being afraid of, then pay attention to the first part of my call sign." They all knew what it was now without me telling them again, but very few people believed it until they saw me in combat. "Call me Skipper or something like that, and we'll get along nicely." Mendelson nodded, and so did the other flight lieutenant, Nikki Twining. "We've all come from the special wing that Space Marshal Wolfenstein has been running, and we're used to flights of 8. That changes now, back to the normal flights of 4. Flight Lieutenant Twining has B flight, and Flight Lieutenant Mendelson has C. I'll be leading A flight. Obviously.